what the odds are to get into Oxford, so Oxford and Cambridge University. Anyone know what the odds are for every applicant that applies?
1 in 300.
1 in 300? Good guess.
Very true. I was just saying it depends what school you went to.
It does, it really does. Yeah, I'm at the moment going through the whole process of it with my sister, who's 17, and she's applying for Oxford, and she's had the joy of going through this whole process. And actually, for those that apply, it's about 1 in 6, 7. But remember this, most colleges and sixth forms won't even allow you to apply if you don't have the appropriate marks. They just won't let you. They'll say, nope, we're not going to let you choose this as first, second, or third option. It's not happening if you don't have the capacity to even have a chance. So this individual has been able to go and get in one of the highest ranking drama schools, where the application rate for every person that applies is that 1 in 72 people get a place. So he was handpicked from 2,000 applications in a class of 27. There's clearly some weight in what he's able to offer and deliver, but also there is clearly something there that he will be able to show you on how to actually get your audience to be gripped by the information that you offer as well. I'd like to also share with you, I asked him, tell me something fun about you. And his fun variant, and I have to be honest, this is also kind of really cool. Anyone here a Harry Potter fan? Anyone here a Harry Potter fan and don't want to admit that they're a Harry Potter fan? Okay, that's cool too. And so here's the thing, with those that are Harry Potter fans, did you know that there's a real, actual, National League level Quidditch that is played? Did you know that? International, it is actually international, absolutely. No, they do not. They do not fly on broomsticks. I've asked them about that too. They don't do that. But he's actually gone and managed to be part of that team as well as another national team in dodgeball. Who do you know people that like do that? That's so cool. So cool. And that's the thing about him. Like, he will give you everything he has got while he's on stage with you. So give him everything that you can give back, energy-wise. Is that okay?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah. No, Rosie got a better energy, so that's a no. Should we try again? Are you sure? Yeah. Okay, I like that a lot. So, without further ado, I would like to call on James to the stage. Give him a massive round of applause.
Thank you very much, Sephora, first of all. Good evening, everyone. And my name is James King-Nickol, and I am an actor. I'm a speaker, but tonight I'm here as a speaker trainer for Sovereign Speakers. Now, I'd like to tell you a story, and it's actually about my first event that I went to, my first business event. And it was similar to this, but it was quite a bit bigger. It was around about 400 people in the audience. It was in a swanky hotel in Kensington. And there were these international speakers that were going to be speaking up on stage. I was 18 years old. I've never done anything like this before. And I was so excited. And I came, and the international speaker went up onto the stage, and they started to speak. And I was like, what? And the reason for this is because I was really quite disappointed. Because I was a drama teacher at the time. I taught drama, dance and singing for children between the ages of 4 and 9. And when they started speaking, I thought back to those kids that I taught, and I was like, you know what? Those kids that I teach can probably go up on stage right now and do a better job than you are. They can have much better stage presence than the international speaker. They can have a much better connection with the audience than the international speaker. So why are they an international speaker? Now, that's why I'm a speaker trainer. And the reason why I'm with Sovereign Speakers is because everywhere that you hear in the industry, you'll hear, oh, come to my retreat for 7 days in Bali and I will turn you into an amazing speaker just like that. Or join my course for 5 days. With the training and the experience that I have, I know for a fact that you can't just turn someone into an amazing speaker in that short a time. It's just not possible. And Sovereign Speakers is one of the very few companies out there that understands that basic principle. And that's why I work with them. So a little bit about me. So my kind of like credentials, as they say. So I've had 6 years of professional world-class training. So I'm going to show you a set of faces, and these are people that have either been to my drama school or they have been taught by the teachers that have directly taught me. You might recognize a few of them. So we've got Daniel Craig, 007 himself, along with Q, the Gadget Man. We've got Dame Julie Walters. She's probably the most distinguished alumnus of my drama school. We've got Julie Walters again because she's the best. We've got King Theoden there, Lord of the Rings earlier. We've got Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. We've got a little Game of Thrones corner over there. And me as an actor myself, I've performed in small venues. I've performed in some very big venues. That there was an audience of 2,000. So the three things that I'm going to talk to you this evening. Why storytelling is so important. What is it about storytelling that the industry is hot on right now? Everyone's saying, use storytelling in your pitch, in your talk. Then delivery trumps content. So Rosie was speaking to you earlier about turning your content into the written form and how to create an emotional connection using the written word. I'm doing very much a similar thing, but just from stage. And then body language is all you need. There are various statistics out there that say between like 80 and 90% of communication is non-verbal. So it's the body language that you bring across to it. Well, guess what? When you're on stage and 80 to 90% of your communication is non-verbal, for you as a speaker, it's 80 to 90% important. And it's very much a neglected part of speaker training. So first of all, storytelling. Now, storytelling is an essential part of our culture. It's just very human. We've always done it. From when we were cavemen, gathering around campfires, the elders would tell their stories, passing on their legacies to the generations after. And we do it on a daily basis, all of us. When you're a kid, listening to a bedtime story from your parents, any parents in the room, you're telling bedtime stories to your kids. And also when you're in a social situation. So if you're in a pub with a group of friends, and you're having just a casual conversation, and then something is said that triggers someone, and it reminds them of something, and they go, oh, that reminds me of the time when this happened. And they go into storyteller mode. Their energy has shot up. They're using variety in their pitch, in their pace, in their tone of their voice. They're saying things in different ways. And why? Because they want you to listen to them. They want you to be connected to them. They want you to relate to them. Guess what? When you're on stage, you want the audience to listen to you. You want them to be connected to you, and you want them to relate to you. So the exact same skills that you use to tell a story are the exact same skills that you need to be on stage. However, there's a catch. It's kind of the storyteller trap, because the industry has kind of caught on to it. Fairly often, when you tell your story, it is the best part of your talk. And quite often it will be at the beginning, because you want to hook the audience right at the beginning, don't you? You want to hook them in early, and then they're yours for the rest of the talk. Well, that's not quite true, because what happens when the story is finished? You get to the end of your story, and then you have to go on to this teensy little problematic thing, the nitty-gritty, a little thing called the content, which should be the most important part of your talk, because it's your message, it's what you're trying to get across, it's what you're trying to teach your audience. But what happens? So this is Ick. Ick is a fantastic storyteller. And he goes to multi-speaker events, and one piece of feedback that he got one time was, I thought you were fantastic. At the beginning, when you were telling your story, you were brilliant. You had the audience in the palm of your hand. But then you started, listing the facts and figures, and at that moment, you became as dull as ditch water. That's an actual quote. That's not just me being me. And why does it happen? It's because when you're telling a story, you naturally get more excited yourself. It's a fantastic story. It's something interesting. And then you get to the content, and the content isn't as interesting, granted. However, that's when you need to work harder to make it interesting for your audience, to get the message across. That's when you need to work harder. But what happens instead is you go from the storyteller mode into the bad little evil thing called the lecturer mode. And that is what we want to avoid, because your energy sinks down. You use less pitch and pace and variety and tone of your voice. All of it becomes narrower. It's not as interesting. And that is the problem that we are trying to fix. So I'm going to demonstrate the difference between the two. And I'm going to do that by explaining to you the philosophy of sovereign speakers. So this is version 1. The philosophy of sovereign speakers is ace your speaking game. There are 3 levels. The first level is the A level, and it stands for audible, articulate, and animate. The second level is the C level. It stands for captivate, compelling, and consistent. And the third level is the elite level. It stands for excellence and elegant. Now this is version 2. Ace your speaking game. There are 3 levels. The first level is the A level, and it stands for audible, articulate, and animate. The second level, the C level, stands for captivate, compelling, and consistent. And the third level is the elite level. This is excellent and elegant. Now hands up if you preferred version 1. Hands up if you preferred version 2. I'm very glad that it's worked out that way. Well, oh god, this is a thing. So I was doing a few practice. I know. I was doing like a few practice runs earlier, and Caroline and Sephora kept stopping me because the version 1, they kept saying it's too good, it's too good, and I was like, right, I've got to dumb it down further, and I was doing it, and they were pushing me further and further down, but I just wasn't getting there. But the reason is because of all the training that I've had. You know, there's kind of 4 levels of knowing something. There's kind of unconsciously not knowing that you're bad at something or good at something. Then you become consciously aware of it. Then you become consciously good at it, so you're thinking about your technique and doing the right things at the right time and making sure that the audience is connected to you in the right way at this particular moment. And then there is a moment where you become unconsciously competent at it, where you are so practiced at it, you've done it for so long, that it just comes naturally to you. And it's really hard to switch off as well. Oh, thank you very much. So, find my place again. So yeah, in terms of the non-verbal communication, I'm going to play a little game that actors do. And I'm going to bring to the stage Caroline King, the founder of Sovereign Speakers. So the game is very, very simple in its premise. I can only say one word. Caroline can only say one word. They're different words, so we're using 2 words. Very, very simple. I can only say yes. Caroline can only say no. And yet, we have to create a story out of it. We have to keep the audience engaged. We have to keep you engaged and interested and focused on us. And yet we can't rely on the content. We can only rely on yes and no. Let's give it a shot. Yes?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. 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 Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. 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 Oh, no.
Now it's your turn. So everyone, so everyone's got to stand up. Yes. Turn to the person next to you Choose your yeser and your knower. I think some people already know which they want to be. And you have 60 seconds, no, 90 seconds, to have a conversation between you. But you have to use your eyes, you have to use your face. There we go. I need a drink of water.
Give the instruction of standing up.
Ah, yeah. Fair enough. Too late now. Oh well. And time! Thank your partner and sit back down. So, it's quite fun, isn't it? Right, okay. I said time. So actors are very good at playing games and having fun, but at the same time working on essential skills. This game is for bringing out the skills to create that connection for yourself, and you can't rely on the content because you can only say yes and no. You have to use your body language, you have to use your facial expressions, what's happening with your eyes and your gestures. Everything has to be consistent. And it's not that easy, is it? And it's definitely not that easy to get it into your body so much that it becomes natural. But that's what the training is for. The idea is you can use a story to get you there, to that level, where you have the connection with your audience, you're engaging them, and your energy is up there, and your pitch and pace and variety of tone is up there. And then you use the training to keep you there. You get out of the storyteller trap, and you stay there, and you don't drop the level, which is what always happens. Now this has been up there for a little while, the pin drop moment. Now, would you like to know the best way to engage an audience and have the deepest connection with them?
Yes.
Okay. There should be no no's in the house. So the pin drop moment is when you're at a speaking gig and you're about to go on stage, you're waiting at the side, and the MC is about to call you on. And they say your name, and you come on stage, and you're in front of everyone, and all of their eyes are on you. And you start speaking. And it's going well. No one's looking at their phones. No one's fidgeting. You carry on speaking, and it's still going well, and you notice that the audience is leaning towards you. Like when you're in the pub and someone's telling the story, you lean in towards them. And then you carry on speaking and you carry on going, and it's still going really well, and you notice that they're starting to mirror you. They're mirroring your facial expressions. They're mirroring your body language. And this is when you know that you have them. If you dared for a second to just stop and pause, and there is silence. Silence so much that you could hear a pin drop. That is when you know you have your audience. And that is also the moment when you need to give them the most important part of your message, because you have them in the palm of your hand. However, it's not like that, is it? You might have had a pin drop moment before, but it's probably happened by accident, and when you try to recreate it, when you try to do it again, it's just not working, and how do I do it? And you're asking people, how do you do it? And they don't know the answer because they don't know how to do it themselves. But don't worry, there is a solution. It is H speaking game. Back to this. There are 3 levels. The A level, audible, articulate, animate. There's a C level, captivate, compelling, and consistent. And the elite level, the excellent level, where you are elegant. This is what we at Sovereign Speakers would do for you. So there should be some forms coming round. If you would like to know more, if you would like to see how we can help you, then just put your name, your email, and your mobile number down. And is there a box to tick as well? Caroline? Is there a box to tick as well?
Yeah,
Yes, a GDPR box that you must tick at all circumstances. Fair enough. Anyway, thank you very much. You've been a fantastic audience. Thank you.
Can we give him another round of applause?